Hey, Derek here and welcome to RrickyTechHD. So about some few days ago, Apple held its first event in 2022. There was quite some surprises and some boring stuff too. But hang on as we dive right into the video. The event was kickstarted with Apple TV Plus. As boring as it may sound for some people, now exclusively on Apple TV Plus is 2 live games of baseball which airs on Friday Night Live, and also some movie features which nobody really cares about. Moving away from Apple TV Plus, Apple also talked about the new product finish for the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro. Quite some interesting new colors, which are solid green for the iPhone 13 and an alpine green for the 13 Pro. Those are quite some interesting finishes, but one little Easter egg I might have picked from the color choice of green is how they kept talking about their products being made from recycles and the cost of reducing environmental pollution. Well, that's a great one, Apple. Before I even continue, every product they talked about will be available on March 18th if you pre-ordered on March 11th. Okay, so with that out of the way, next was the new iPhone SE, the special edition iPhone. But well, there's nothing so special about it externally, but internally, there are some cool new stuff for seamless use of the lowest priced iPhone. Now with Apple Silicon, the iPhone SE is equipped with the A15 Bionic chip, the same chipset for the iPhone 13 lineup. As usual, with a 6-core CPU, a 4-core GPU and 16 neural engine for machine learning tasks. Also, the new iPhone SE supports 5G and it has slightly bigger battery in comparison with the previous versions. Talking of camera, the new SE comes with a 12 megapixel system for better camera performance with deep fusion and smart HDR4. As I indicated earlier, the exterior does not look so different from the previous models, but there are some slight changes, of which some consist of the front and back glass, which are now made with tougher glass. It is rated IP67, making it water resistant. It comes with same old home button with Touch ID for unlocking the phone. The SE comes with 3 basic color finishes, which are the Midnight, Starlight, and Product Red. All this goes for $429, slightly higher than the previous releases. Next is the new iPad Air. Apple actually did not have much change to their products lineup, especially with the iPhone SE and the iPad Air. Well, the simplistic design is pretty much okay, but as most of us are aware, it's really the internal architecture that brings massive changes to this product in talk. Talking about internal architecture, the new iPad Air is now equipped with the M1 chip. Performance on this is massive, from gaming to video editing, as the processor contains massive 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine for machine learning tasks. The display on the iPad Air is improved with a liquid retina technology, and also the screen has an anti-reflective coat with 50 nits peak brightness for clearer display even in very lit environments. Now the front camera is the new 12 megapixel ultra wide that supports center stage. That basically takes video calls to another level. The new iPad Air supports 5G, and also there is a bit of improvement in the USB-C port for faster file transfers. As usual, it supports the Apple Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil 2nd generation. Believe it or not, the iPad Air was the product I was most excited about. The color finishes on this are the space gray, starlight, pink, purple, and the new blue color. The pricing starts at $599. That's a very good price range for a product of this power and functionality. Okay, so moving on to the next game-changing products for the PC industry. This was more of a jaw-dropping moment during the event, introducing the all-new M1 Ultra chip from Apple Silicon. Ever since Apple took over producing their own processors, it has been a huge leap for the company from the M1 chip to M1 Pro to M1 Max and now the M1 Ultra. The Ultra name sounds like it was inspired by Samsung. Alright, so what makes the M1 Ultra processor different from the rest of the processors? On the grand scheme of understanding, the M1 Ultra was engineered from 2 M1 Max chips by combining the two processors to act as a single unit processor through what Apple calls Ultra Fusion. So basically, there is a communication between the two M1 Max processors, but with a very low latency. There is a 2.5 terabytes per second interprocessor bandwidth between the two chips using very little power. The low latency makes it behave like a single unit chip. The M1 Ultra supports higher memory bandwidth subsystem. This has its memory bandwidth increased to 800 gigabytes per second, which on paper is more than 10 times the latest PC desktop chip. Doubling the memory chips means the chip supports up to 128 gig of unified memory, what we all know as the RAM. The design architecture comes with 20-core CPU with 16 high-performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. It also features 64-core GPU for graphically intense workloads and a 32-core neural engine for normal machine learning tasks. So, this is where the numerical comparison comes in. Basically, the graph Apple shown was CPU and GPU performance against power consumption, and this was compared to the highest end CPU and GPU in the market today. Alright, so on paper, the M1 Ultra compared to the fastest CPU core available, it delivers 90% higher performance in the same power usage, while it can also deliver basic chip speed performance while using 100 watts less power. Now to the GPU. M1 Ultra delivers faster performance than the highest end GPU available in the market now, while using 200 watts less power. This is an insane performance and a game changer for the CPU and GPU industry. The competition for the big companies is about to go down, seriously. All that said, the M1 Ultra will be used in the Mac Studio, the next product of talk. The Mac Studio is more like the new system unit of Apple that can be configured with M1 Max or the M1 Ultra. The Mac Studio is made up of a single aluminum with a width of 7.7 inch and a height of 3.7 inch. The size is very moderate, not that bulky, therefore can fit in a small working environment. Talking about the internals, we have already established the fact that it comes with either the M1 Ultra or M1 Max configuration based on the individual preference. Shifting to other parts of the internals, it has a double-sided blower that pulls air from the perforated base into the device and are guided outside through the back. This makes for a good cooling system to keep the machine cool when working intensively. The back has 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports to connect your displays, a 10 gigabit Ethernet port, 2 USB-A ports and an HDMI port, a Pro audio jack, and also it supports Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5. Coming to the front is 2 USB-C ports and an SD card slot. Now, as we have basic knowledge about how the M1 Ultra performs, it is without a doubt that the Mac Studio is going to perform very well. But considering it with the M1 Max configuration compared to Apple's most powerful desktop, which is the 27-inch iMac and the Mac Pro, CPU performance on the Mac Studio with M1 Max performs up to 2.5 times faster, and it is 50% faster than the Mac Pro with 16-core Xeon processor. And the graphics performance on the Mac Studio with M1 Max is also 3.4 times faster than the fastest graphics on the 27-inch iMac. And again, it outperforms the Mac Pro with its most popular graphics card, which is 3 times faster. So basically, the Mac Studio with the M1 Ultra is the highest performing Apple desktop by far. In terms of CPU, it is up to 3.8 times faster than the highest performing iMac, and also up to 90% faster than the Mac Pro with 16 cores. And in comparison to the Mac Pro with 28 cores, it still performs 60% faster. This is very cool. Now to the GPU performance. It is up to 4.5 times faster than the 27-inch iMac, and also exceeds the Mac Pro with its fastest graphics card, which is up to 80% faster. Storage is up to 8 TB on this device. Mac Studio with M1 Ultra can play up to 18 streams of 8K ProRes 422 videos. Alright, so that will be it for the Mac Studio. Now the next product of talk is the studio display. Okay, so with the studio display, it comes with an all-screen design with a narrow borders in an aluminum enclosure. The stand on it makes it possible to tilt the display up to 30 degrees depending on the user preference. It can also be customized to have a tilt and height adjustment that comes with extra cost, Apple and money. That's a joke. And there is also a VESA adapter option that can also let you mount the display in landscape or portrait orientation. It is a 27-inch active area display with a total sum of 14.7 million pixels at 218 ppi pixel per inch. That means there are 218 pixels in every 1 inch of the screen. That makes it a 5K Retina display and 600 nits of peak brightness. It also has P3 rider color and support for 1 billion colors. It has True Tone for a more natural look and an anti-reflective coating for comfort and readability. The display comes with A13 Bionic chip. That sounds a lot for a single monitor, and also has a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, the same on the iPad Air, and this is the first Mac that supports center stage. It also features a 6-speaker sound system for better audio delivery. The studio display has 3 USB-C ports for peripheral connections and a Thunderbolt port. Also, lastly, Apple talked about new colors for the Magic Key trackpad and the mouse, which is silver and black. So guys, that will be it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up as it helps the channel a lot, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and share with your friend who is interested in tech stuff. Until we meet again in the next video, peace.